Hey guys, Brad from simpleguitar.com here, and today's video is going to be a little bit different than normal because today we're talking about one of the aspects of playing guitar that actually is not touching the guitar. When it comes to learning guitar, one of the most important things that you can do is actually set goals. But the problem is most guitar players set their goals totally wrong and it keeps them from progressing. I don't want that to be you. So I'm going to show you a better way to set goals for your guitar playing. Now, when it comes to learning guitar, what most people do is they actually set goals that are totally pointless. So for example, a lot of times I'll see people say things like, I'm going to learn 20 chords, or I'm going to learn 17 scales, or I'm going to, I want to learn all my major chords. I want to learn how to play the major scale. The question that you have to ask behind any goal that you set is why? Why do you want to set that goal? What is learning 20 chords going to do? What is playing all your major scales going to do? You have to ask why, because on their own, goals like that are totally pointless. Nobody's going to be impressed if you can play the major scale up and down the neck everywhere. Doesn't matter. Not impressive. Nobody really cares if you know all your open chords. It's not going to get you any recognition. It's not going to, make people go, wow, he's so good. He knows all those open chords. Okay. When it comes down to playing guitar, music is a language and you have to be expressing yourself through your guitar playing. So when you're thinking about what you want to learn, you need to think about, why do I want to learn that? And typically that's why one thing everybody should be doing is learning more songs and solos. Because if music is a language, learning the songs and the guitar solos of other guitar players is learning how they use music to express themselves. It's learning their vocabulary, and then you take it and make it your own. And so that's why one thing that I like to do with students all the time is make sure that they're learning a challenging song or something that's not just, I'm trying to get through this book and the book says to do this. Okay. So always be considering that. Don't just set curriculum-based goals. If I'm going to learn this scale and then this scale and then this scale. You have to think about, why do I want to learn that stuff, and not just do it blindly. Now, the next thing to think about with goals is that when you're learning to play guitar, it's not just something to check off of a bucket list. Okay. My friend Daryl was having a great conversation about this on Facebook just the other day, about how guitar isn't just a checklist. You can't just go, I want to learn guitar in 3 months, check, I'm done. It doesn't work that way. When it comes to playing guitar, becoming a guitar player is more of an identity that you gain and that you put upon yourself than it is, I can play guitar and I can check that box and move on. Okay. So you have to be able to love the whole process of learning to play guitar and challenging yourself and doing new things over time. Because in his book, The Infinite Game, Simon Sinek talks about how things like playing guitar are an infinite game. There is no end to learning guitar. There is no point where you're like, that's it, I'm done. I've learned everything and there's nothing else for me to learn. Guitar is an infinite game. It never ends. And so it's not like you start one day and then 6 months later you can check it off your list and be like, I'm done. Okay. If you really want to be a guitar player, if that's the identity that you want to have, then learning how to love the process of learning guitar for the rest of your life is going to be important. So don't think of guitar just as some short-term thing that I'm going to do this and I'm going to play this many songs and then I'm done. There's a very good chance that it's not, because if you want to be a guitar player who plays for life, you have to think about it differently. And that is that there's no end to it. There is no end to learning to play guitar, ever. You never learn enough. There's always something more. There's always someone who can play better. There's always someone who's doing something new, some new innovative thing, some new technique, some new way to do it. And so you can always push yourself to be better. So don't think of guitar just as, I'm going to learn this stuff and then I'm going to check that off my list and then I'm done. Now, the third thing, and this is something that I really like to use with my students, is to think about the power of moments. In their book, Chip and Dan Heath talk about the power of moments, and it is a fantastic book if you haven't read this book. And one of the things that they talk about is an example of somebody who was actually learning violin, but instead of setting curriculum-based goals, like I'm going to learn this scale and this scale and this scale, they set goals that are based around unforgettable, memorable moments and how that made learning so much better. And it's the same thing for you with guitar. You can set goals for your guitar playing that aren't based on, I'm going to learn this chord and this chord and this chord. Instead, you can think of, well, a moment that I would like to experience is learning my favorite song from my favorite band, right? And then another moment would be being able to play that with the record and then being able to play that and perform it in front of 10 family members. And then being able to write my own song. That would be a big, powerful moment. Being able to perform in front of 500 people. You know, there are different goals like this where it's not so much about the content of what it is you're learning, but it's the end point, the final moment that you have that is something that you never forget. And that is powerful. So when you're thinking about your guitar goals, instead of thinking about the content of what it is you want to learn, I want you to think to the end point, and I want you to think, what is the moment that I can create with that? It could be learning how to improvise, or it could be jamming with other musicians, or performing a song, or writing a song, or playing on TV, or, you know, whatever it is, becoming a YouTube star. It could be anything. I want you to think about what the moment is that you can capture that'll be something that you remember forever. And that will be far more powerful than thinking about, I'm going to learn where every G chord is on the guitar. Okay, that's okay, but why? Why do you want to be able to do that? Think beyond that. Now, sometimes your goals can either hurt your progress or they can help your progress, and it depends on how you set those goals. Sometimes people will set a goal that ends up hurting them because they don't think about why they want that goal, what it means to them to achieve that goal, and then it's just kind of empty. It's pointless. And so please stay away from empty, pointless goals and think about why it is you want to do it, what you're going to do with it, how it's going to make you a better guitar player, how you're going to express yourself with it. And don't just go, I want to learn all these chords or I want to learn all these scales. You need to express why you want to do that. And then tie that into a powerful moment that is something that you'll never forget. And if you can do that, your goals are going to be super powerful for you. So I hope that with these three things, this is going to help you as you're setting goals for your guitar playing. And instead of just going, I want to do this and then this and then this, I hope that you think more about why you want to learn that specific thing. So think about behind it. And also remember that guitar is not just a checklist. It's not just something that you learn and then you're done. It's an infinite game with no end. And so remember that. It's a process and you have to love every step of it. And third, remember the power of moments. Remember to set up powerful moments that you will never forget and then work toward those instead of just working toward curriculum-based goals. So after that, guys, I hope that that helps you as you're thinking about your guitar playing and where you want to go with your guitar playing. I hope that helps you think about the right kinds of goals, how to set those goals, and to think more about powerful moments that you'd never want to forget, more than you think about the curriculum or the content of things that you want to learn. Think more about what you're going to do with that. What is the end point, like performing in front of your friends or playing in front of 500 people or creating a band and playing, you know, live and doing all this different stuff. Think about those things more than I want to learn my G chord and then my C chord and then my D chord and then play a song. But a great place to start, a great place for most beginners is starting out with what is the number one song that you want to learn. If you set that goal and you say, I want to play this song by this group, and then you start working towards that, that can give you a powerful moment when you get that done, and you can play it with the song and you can play it flawlessly, and it makes everything awesome. Now with that, guys, I want you to take that, and if you want more stuff like this, you can go to my website, simpleguitar.com/top10, and there I have a guide for you for free called the top 10 things to learn on guitar first. And if you download that guide, totally free, once again, totally free guide, it will talk about this and a few other things, and I'm making videos to go along with it so that you can get the most bang for your buck when you're starting out playing guitar. Sometimes people start out doing things that are really, really hard in the beginning, and I'm trying to give you some stuff in the very beginning that is a little bit counterintuitive, but will make you a better guitar player and more confident guitar player a lot faster. So I hope that's helpful for you guys. So go download that guide for free, and I hope it really helps you out. And then I will see you guys in the next video.